All right, we are live. Welcome to Miracle Morning Mastermind. We are closing. Momentum is building day by day. I love this group of people who are the next wave of executive ring earners and executive makers. This is a very special group of people. Um, here in this Miracle Morning Mastermind. And I'm loving the transformation that's taking place. And one of the things that gets me most excited is I know um, how long it took me to develop certain mindsets and skill sets and habits of an executive, of a consistent executive and ring earner, um, because I didn't have the modeling. I wasn't surrounded by a bunch of leaders who were where I could see real hand. It's like more things are caught than taught sometimes. Some people grow up in a family, and because somebody in the family that's in close proximity is modeling certain philosophies or habits or behaviors, the rest of the family just kind of picks it up. It doesn't even necessarily have to be taught, but they're picking it up because they're in close proximity. And even though I would seek out mentorship, it's not as fast for me as it is when I'm able to get up close and personal and observe somebody on a regular basis. When I'm able to observe on a regular basis, I can pick up things very quickly. And so I'm excited for you all because you all are picking up things within months that literally took me years. You all are able to pick up things from me in days, weeks, or months that took me years or a decade to pick up because I didn't have the proximity. And so I'm just so excited that because you all are becoming solid executives from the inside out very quickly. So with that being said, we have our winter momentum. Our winter event is coming up. And every winter, we kick off the new year with momentum. And the event is going to be Breakthrough 2026 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, there are some events within the event that I want to encourage you all to run for. There are some incentives and special recognitions within the event that I want to encourage you all to run for and encourage your team members to run for. The first thing I'm going to ask you all, I'm asking you all to commit to being there as executives and executive makers. Here's a big piece for today, big leadership lessons. As executives and executive makers, consistent executives and consistent and executive makers, it's never a question of if we're going to be at the big event. Of course, we're going to be at the big event. Now, it may be a question of how we're going to make it happen in the beginning. It may be a question of how we're going to overcome whatever the obstacles are. But once you decide to be an executive, a leader, a CEO, a born CEO, literally the whole business model that we have, our four rhythms, daily, weekly, monthly, annual, that is what we're leading. We're literally leading the four rhythms. So that means we are the ones who are leading the rest of the organization to do the daily activity with the 2 to 5 a day with the three-way. We are the ones who are leading the rest of the organization to do the weekly rhythm of showing up Thursday night and Sunday night and to do to the weekly one night per week in person. That's literally like, let's imagine you're getting paid $250,000 per year or more as an executive leader, as a leader of leaders, what would you be getting hired to do in this business? You're literally getting hired to inspire people to do the four rhythms, which means you're doing it more than they are, faster than they are, and you're more committed to it than they are. And that's why they start to do it over time, because of your leadership. So you're literally getting paid. I want you to just imagine that I am hiring you all to lead the four rhythms of success, that picture I show every Thursday night of the daily, weekly, monthly, annual. And so, and I'll see if I can put up a picture in here as we talk about it so you can visualize what's being said. So you are modeling the weekly Thursday night core training. You're there earlier than everybody else. You're present. You're on camera. You're excited. They're seeing you do it. You're modeling being the Sunday night. You're modeling. You're doing everything they're gonna have to do to get the model in place. And sometimes that means, okay, I got to figure out how to rearrange my schedule in order to put this multiple six-figure income model in place. And I want to make sure you all see it as what it is. It is the multiple six-figure income model. This is the model that's going to pay me where my multiple six figures a year comes from. And that's how I release my multiple six figures, by leading that model. So, and then the one night per week in person. The one night per week in person. That's the ultimate piece of the weekly model that causes the most sustainable growth to take place and local growth to take place. And that's where your biggest, that's where your leadership skills get revealed and developed, is growing your one night per week in person. Nothing in this business grows your leadership skills more than growing your in-person event. Why is that? One of the reasons why is because even though it takes influence to lead people to a Zoom, it takes more influence to lead people to get dressed, get out of the house, or leave their job, show up to an event through rush hour traffic, and then show up and then problem solve, and then the energy and the emotion, the enthusiasm to inspire them to come, and then inspire people to come back. It takes real leadership. It takes more influence to grow an in-person event than it takes to get some people to click a button and show up for a Zoom. And because it takes more leadership to get people to show up somewhere in person, that's where your leadership skills get developed the fastest. That's where your leadership muscles get stronger and stronger. That's where your most serious people are. You know, your most committed people are going to be the ones that are committed to an in-person event, because it takes less commitment to show up to a Zoom. It takes more commitment to show up to a local in-person event. And it takes even more commitment for somebody to consistently show up to an in-person event. So the most solid part of your business model, the most um, solid part of your team, is the team that's showing up in person at events. So from that weekly, the next thing you're leading as a leader of leaders, you're leading the monthly rhythm. You are leading the way at your Super Saturday in person locally once a month. You're leading the way with figuring out, how do I get some guests to show up to my Super Saturday this time? That takes a that's a leadership mindset muscle, a leadership skill set muscle, leadership activity, getting yourself to block the time in your calendar where you're actually reaching out to people, and you got a list of local people you've been building up, and you decided finally, you know what? I'm a leader. I'm a promoter. I'm a builder. I'm a top earner. I'm gonna block a time in my calendar where I'm taking an hour and inviting a whole bunch of people to my Super Saturday, and not just the day of. I'm tired of getting the Super Saturday. This is leadership talk. This is you. This is when you're really tapping into your six figures and multiple six-figure leadership muscles. I'm making it real plain today. I said tonight because it sure looks like it's night over here. Um, this time of the morning. I'm making it real plain what leadership looks like through the four rhythms, right? So it gets to a point where you're like, man, I'm tired of showing up to Super Saturday by myself. And then you start inviting people, the day of or the day before. And then it comes a point you go, oh, I'm tired of waiting to the last minute to invite people to my Super Saturday. I could have gotten this going a week ago and had a few more people at least. And then you get that you said, you know what? All right, I'm blocking a time a week before Super Saturday or 2 weeks, and I'm going to start making it a part of my rhythm in my calendar. This is when I promote Super Saturday in advance. That is the transition. It's very simple. It's not like a whole bunch of complicated things. It's becoming more disciplined, more proactive, and more strategic in doing the same thing, just driving these four rhythms. And then that muscle spills into the ultimate highest paying muscle. This is where your six figures and beyond really gets released in this business as a leader. And that is the annual rhythm of inviting people to the annual events that take place winter, spring, summer, fall. That's the annual rhythm. There's certain big event in the winter, certain big event, and that's the team retreat, certain big event opportunity in the spring. That's the company convention, New Orleans, Louisiana. Certain big event in the summer. That's usually put on by a team. Last year, we went together with Darnell Self's organization in the Louisiana. I mean, in Louisville, Kentucky. And then the company usually has some fall event options. This is where we earn the big bucks. This is literally what we're leading. In fact, the only reason I'm going to say something very bold, but this might help you visualize yourself as a leader and what you're doing as a leader, your job description as a leader, a multiple six-figure leader that is in this business. You are now the only reason to get the 2 to 5 a day going and model that for people and lead the way and inspire others to do it, which is what you do. That's why you earn the big bucks, because you found ways to inspire more and more people to do 2 to 5 a day with a three-way like you're doing. The only reason to do the daily is, and the only reason to lead people into the weekly events where they're gathering people weekly. By the way, a part of that daily is using the daily Zooms for the 2 to 5 a day, growing the daily Zooms, gathering people day by day, inspiring your team members to do the same thing. Even if they can't be on the daily Zoom, they're inviting to the daily Zoom with that 2 to 5 a day to gather more people into the weekly events and the weekly core training, to gather more people in the Super Saturday. The ultimate reason for all of that is just to have more people at the big event, the next big event for the quarter. And you have now completed a full leadership cycle of growing the big event. And you measure your effectiveness as a leader. Take this down, y'all. You measure your effectiveness as a leader by how many more people you had at your Super Saturdays this month than last month, this quarter than last month. And ultimately, the ultimate measurement is how many more people you have at your quarterly big event, the annual big event, meaning winter event or the spring event. Right now, it's the winter event, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And the only way to even do that is you got to be there and be there with your people and take that photo with your team like you do every week at your weekly in-person event. Take a photo so you can see the growth and see the ups and downs and capture the story because your only goal is to develop other leaders, to find other leaders who do the same thing. I hope this is clicking. This whole journey, you're just finding more leaders. This is all I've done for 25 years, either effectively or ineffectively, unconsciously or consciously. In my first couple of years, I was doing it, and I didn't know that was the whole business. Like, I was still trying to figure out what the business is. It took a couple of years before I realized, oh, that is the whole business. And once I realized, I went, oh, all I have to do is get really good at that, gathering people. So I want to hear what you all are taking away from this. But I said all of that to get to this. There's a couple things I want you to go for. There's going to be special recognition for those that are Performance Club qualified at the event. You want to set a goal based on how many people you have and how many you want to have. How many people in your group are you encouraging to get recognized for being in the Performance Club? There's going to be special recognition there for who got leveled up since the last big event, who moved up to a new level. You want to be one of the people that moves up to a new level by the Myrtle Beach event. You get recognized. Your job as a leader is to find a way to get yourself and or somebody from your team on that stage at every event. We had somebody new get recognized for a new level. Make that a new focus, a new intention, a new driver. And the ultimate is there's an executive director and above dinner that you want to be at. And the who's who are going to be there. You want to make that a part of your goal, that you at least give it all you got to qualify for that dinner. And the way you qualify for that dinner is by being an executive director in November, this month, and in December, to be and have your seat at the table representing your team at the big event. So I'm sharing my screen. This is the visual, the updated visual. You got the daily rhythm where you're just inspiring and equipping people to find prospects, and and I would venture to say, more importantly, finding local prospects as well. Local prospects. It's great to find long distance prospects and have people joining your team all over the country. That's important. But the foundation of franchising starts with your local. It starts at home. Anybody ever heard that or said that to your kids, or heard that from your parents, or just period, or even at church? It starts at home. Put that in the chat. It starts at home. Duplication starts at home. Leadership starts at home. So keep recruiting people all over the country, but master finding local prospects, which is what that first box is about. So you have local people to invite to your local networking dinner. See how that works? And you see under the weekly, there's two boxes there, because you're not only growing your local networking dinner, but you're growing your weekly core training on Thursday night. That's all you're growing. This is what you're responsible for as a six-figure leader. You're responsible for modeling these boxes, making it fun, making it simple, and inspiring lots of people, finding ways to inspire more people to do what's in these boxes. And then and the arrows show you where you're leading them to. From the daily gathering, they're picking one or two bullets to master in the daily box. So they master one of the two of those strategies for finding new people locally. All those bullets are strategies for finding new people locally. Pick one or two and master it, which means you're not supposed to be good at it in the beginning. You're supposed to be bad at it and then get good at it and then master it and then inspire others. So pick one or two. And if you get bored with those one or two, you pick another one or two and master those. And then that's giving you local people to invite to your local networking dinner. And then into your weekly core training. And then the arrows going from the weekly to the monthly. You're gathering people for your local Super Saturday. Your weekly in-person event should feed your Super Saturday. And then your Super Saturday that you're doing, and all the people you've inspired to do it in their cities, because you're doing it at home, Now they're all gathering together with you. You're getting them to meet you at the big event. Put that in the chat. Meet me at the big event. That's what I'm saying to you all. I'm expecting you all to meet me at the big event. I'm expecting you all to be in the photo at the big event in Myrtle Beach. I'm expecting you to have people from your team in the photo. And if you weren't thinking that before today's call, I'm asking you to start thinking it now. I'm asking you to let that urgency kick in now. I'm asking you to let those problem solving juices kick in now. A part of my leadership development was not having the money to get to the big event and figuring it out anyway. That's what that is leadership, right? That is literally leadership. Leadership is problem solving. My leadership grew when I did have the money, but I didn't know how I was gonna negotiate my way out of it on my job, or my college classes were falling and I had a schedule conflict of the big event. My leadership skills grew when I had to figure out, how am I going to figure out how to get my school work done, my job work done, my family work done, child care taken care of, and still be at the big event like a real executive. That is my leadership. My leadership kicked in when I didn't feel like doing a Tuesday night event every week. And I had to convince my family members not to give me a hard time about being consistent on Tuesday night locally. Or people weren't showing up at my weekly event locally. And I said, I'm going to be here anyway. And instead of having a bad attitude that I could have about not having any guests, I'm going to sit my butt down by myself at this Tuesday night restaurant. And I'm going to invite so many people that I'm going to have some people with me next Tuesday. That's what turned me into a consistent executive director. That's how you become a ring earner, a six-figure earner. And so if you look at the picture in the annual boxes, it's the picture of what the big event is going to be looking like. And the second picture is me and my first person. I invited as many people as I could through this cycle, daily, weekly, monthly, annual, and I got a whole two of us to my first big event. But my attitude, I'm holding it up in my success planner in the photo. My attitude is I had in that goal journal, I'm bringing back 100 plus people to this event. I don't care what it takes. That's why I'm holding up my planner in that photo. I took a before picture in advance, me declaring, I'm going to fulfill this vision and this challenge that Paul J. Meyer gave us, the billionaire philanthropist, when he said, whatever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon must inevitably come to pass. And I was vividly imagining having 100 people at the event, sincerely believing that it's going to happen, and vividly imagine, ardently desiring it, sincerely believing it, and enthusiastically acting upon it. And it inevitably had to come to pass. And that last picture at the bottom is what happened as a result of growing myself as a leader through these four rhythms of success. I want y'all to unmute if you really felt a shift in your leadership commitment. I want to hear from you. What did you pick up about what six-figure leadership looks like, and what are you going to do with it? I want to hear from you.
Good morning, all. Ricky Smith, New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm
Yes, sir.
in Bell Power Team, and I'm executive director. I'm also executive director maker. And almost every word resonated with me. And I don't know about anyone else, but I appreciate this message because I received it. You were speaking to me on this one because I know from experience how to go to events and host events. Be scared to host events and be at events when no one's showing up, and going to events with the expectancy of prosperity and productivity, even if you don't have anyone confirmed or anyone don't show up. Because from experience, I had showed up and didn't have no one show up, and I had a phone call at the event that no one showed up to for a customer that wanted to get the service. So don't be discouraged. Go to your events. events are major. They are major for me, so I know it can be helpful for others. I look forward to seeing all y'all at the events and see y'all at the top and at the bank. See y'all soon.
Hey, make some noise for Mr. Ricky Smith, y'all. New
Okay,
Orleans. Woo woo.
Ricky.
Woo,
Mr.
woo,
Yes,
Ricky
yes,
woo.
Smith.
Ricky.
Woo
Let's do
woo.
it.
Faith
Mr.
Abraham.
Ricky. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if anybody has their hand up. I can't see it while I'm screen sharing. If you do, let me know. And if not, Miss Faith Abraham, take it away.
I just love the reinforcement of how simple it is to really master this. I personally need that constant reminder because in my mind, I can complicate it when I'm looking at the activity focus instead of focusing on the simple steps because the activity can look overwhelming. But when we recurringly have these coaching sessions where we are reminded, no, 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 don't let your mind complicate this. Stay focused on the simple step. It really makes achieving our goal doable and that clarity of hey, it's just these simple steps. And I know just even getting, the exercise we did during my coaching session, just Faith, keep it simple, stupid. They used to say that back in the day. Kids method. Um, but at every turn, our minds want to complicate it. So I am definitely grateful for these refreshers in faith. Don't complicate it. And as you were speaking, I went straight to my calendar, plugged in my dates to invite for the December Super Saturday, including setting up a Eventbrite page, plugging the time in my calendar to do that. So I won't have that feeling because yes, I hate being at the event um, with the last minute effort to get people to come or an early effort, but I wasn't consistent enough to make sure I got the numbers. So I don't want that to be the outcome in December. So I have plugged it into my extremely busy calendar to dedicate time to make sure I have a different result in December. Faith
Woo.
Abraham, I am an executive director and an executive director, and I am an executive director maker on the Bell Power team, keeping it
Unmute.
simple.
Make some noise for Miss Faith Abraham. Woo woo.
Yes, yes, Miss
Miss
Faith. Let's keep it
Abraham.
simple. That's what I'm
Woo,
talking
woo.
about.
Thanks for
That
thanks
is
for
executive leadership. She said, I went straight to my calendar and blocked the time. That's what that's literally what executives do that non-executives don't. All right, who else would you take away for yourself?
I'll go, Coach. This is Laverne Moore out of Missouri City, Texas. I am an executive director maker. I am an executive director maker on the Pam Carnes team. Yes, yes, yes. I did owe Miss Faith because it is a simple process. Anytime I even think or consider getting a job, I'm like, Laverne, just send out some invites. And just keep it again, just keep it simple and just continually steady do what we've been told. And the funny thing about doing it, and just because it is so simple, I actually had an appointment with my vet the other day and was so excited while I was sitting there. I'm like, let me see how I can save some money. So while I was on my phone, I'm like, okay, I got to save some money on that appointment. And I was so excited. I'm like, man, we actually, I told my vet and the people there, I'm like, we actually go into companies and do employee benefits and just being relaxed and automatically doing what we do and just talking about the services. I was able to actually get an appointment to go in and do a presentation for employee benefit my very first time. But what I realized is it's stuff we already know and stuff we already do. So it's just about doing it. And then I did it again yesterday and went into an office, and it was at least three people that were there. The office was so quiet to when I asked who was the person that I could talk to about employee benefits. There was a lady hiding behind hiding behind a screen. She like when I gave her my card, she's like, "Oh no, no, we don't do that." And I'm thinking when I left out of there, the people that worked there that she looked like she was micromanaging, looked so miserable. And so, which made me know there's so many people that just need to hear about what we're doing. And the more we talk about and share, because there are people that need it, our business builds up. So that's all I have. Thank you.
I heard you got a new employee benefit account and you got a bunch of signups coming too. Let's make some noise to Miss Laverne Moore. Woo woo.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations, Ms. Moore.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
way to go, lady.
Congrats.
We just keeping it simple, y'all, like Miss Faith said, and just keep doing it, and it comes. It comes. Thank you.
Who else took something from today? What did you take away for yourself? What clicked for you today more than before or got reinforced?
I'll go ahead and talk. Deidre Glover out of the Houston area, Corns Power Team. I'm an executive director and I'm executive director maker. You started off by talking about how to measure my effectiveness. And how to measure it is how many people I have with me at the big event.
Mm.
And I'm not there, but I'm thinking about it.
There's no such thing as not being there. You are wherever you are. It's only where am I now and where I want to go next.
Right now,
And by the way, one is a number.
yes.
Zero means you're not there.
Okay.
One means you're there. Two means you're there with somebody. All those are important numbers. And your number is not
true.
zero.
That's
So that
true.
means you are somewhere.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm thinking about that. You put something in my mind about how I measure my effectiveness. So I'm working on my effectiveness. Okay.
That's
I'm
so
working
good
on
that
my
you caught that.
effectiveness. Yes.
And by the
I'm
way,
working on my effectiveness.
part of being there is actually adding up how many people you have had at your last events. You haven't been showing up
Yeah.
to events
Yeah.
with nobody from your whole team. So part of your
That's
click,
right. That's true.
you're probably only thinking about your personal prospects and forgetting that Laverne Moore is on your team and all the people
Yes.
in your organization are a part of that number.
Okay. So Laverne is holding my team. Okay. Thank
Can
you.
So how
Thank you,
many
can
people
Coach.
did
Appreciate it.
Team Glover have at the last Super Saturday? Approximately, including guests and team members.
I think it was. Help me, Laverne. I know it was.
I don't even remember myself the last Super Saturday.
We
but one,
were in
but can
Dallas. That's right. We were in Dallas.
in Dallas. Okay, so it was me and Deidre in Dallas.
Yeah.
That was the last
Yeah.
Super
I'm talking
Saturday.
about the last Houston one in your local area.
And it might have been me, Deidre, and one or two people,
One
but
other person.
over the
Yes. Yeah.
over the this year we've actually had multiple people. So key
Yes.
What's the
me
highest number? What's the highest number you've had this year?
this year probably
At least
about,
5.
yeah, about 5.
Yeah, because I think y'all had more than 5 when I was there.
Yes, exactly.
So congratulations, that's the number.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
here's what I want y'all to understand. That picture I keep showing you, you are capturing your own picture so you can show your own version of that.
Mm.
That's why I want you taking pictures every time and growing the number so you can show the story instead of just telling the story
Mm.
Instead of trying to remember it.
and trying to remember it. You just pull out your photos and say, look. And then when somebody's saying, yeah, I've had the same number every week for the last few months, and so I'm feeling discouraged, you can show them, look, me too. But I'm not discouraged. I'm encouraged, like Ricky Smith, because that's the same thing it was for Coach Bell. Coach Bell was showing up by himself, and then it clicked, and then one person came on board and caught fire, and then two came on and caught fire. He only had 2 people at the first one, and then he got to close to 100 people at the big event. That's what it's
Uh-huh.
supposed to look like.
Okay.
That's not
Thank you.
failure, that's success. We're on track.
Yes.
And as we stay excited and fired up and focus and get a little bit better every time, we're going to have more. And when we start having more Zoom launches and then more private business receptions and living rooms, we're going to gather more local people even faster. And we're going to find new strategies to gather more people faster. And that's why we get paid the six figures in this business. Any
Thank you,
final
Coach.
comments?
Yeah.
Let's unmute, make some noise for Miss Deidre Glover. Woo
Yes,
woo.
Deidre.
Thank
Woo,
you.
Do
Miss
it. Let's do it.
Glover. Woo,
Miss
woo.
Jefferson, let's give us a what was your final takeaway as we wrap up? What did you
Well,
take away for yourself?
the final takeaway is that, I really have to step up my game. I am trying to do the 2 to 4, 2 to 5 a day. And sometimes the people that I really expect to get it, who are smart people, they don't. And then it sets me back. So I'm going to be laser focused on the Super Saturday. And I'm going to loop back to many of my top contenders. I had a lady who said, she was interested and she's going to do it, but she's got a lot of challenges. Her husband is sick and a number of things. But I'm going to take a different posture now, even if they say I've got this, that, and the other. And I'm going to use myself as an example. I have a brand new grandson. I'm helping my son and daughter-in-law, as they're working and doing this and that. But I'm still keeping everything top of mind related to this business. And I think it's the posture that we have when we approach our prospects and when we loop back to those in our pipeline. So thank you for this lesson today, Coach. I'm fired up, and again, I'm going to be laser focused on December 6th.
Love it. Let's make some noise for Miss Ellen Jefferson. Woo
Yes, Miss
woo.
Ellen, let's do it.
That's
Here's what I
right.
want to
That's right. We have to do that. I got to do that too.
here's what I want to leave. Here's what I want to leave you all with today. And this is for you, Miss Jefferson, too.
Yes.
A whole nother power posture, whole nother posture. Um, I used to be so attached to whether the person I thought would be the person did or didn't. And I was emotionally attached, and I could tell because whether they did or didn't, it would emotionally affect me. But I learned my lesson from Shayna. If y'all remember the story of Shayna, who was the top person on my list, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna tear this up, and she shot me down so much I almost quit the business.
Yes, I remember that. Talk about it, please.
So
Yeah.
here's what I learned from that. Instead of being focused on Shayna, I put that emotion into showing 10 more people.
Mm.
Mm, mm,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's right.
focused on a person, I'm focused on the number.
Mm.
mm,
Here's another visual. You own a drive-through restaurant. Somebody pulls in and decides once they get into the drive-through, oh, you know what? I left my wallet at home. So I'm not even able to order anything. But they're
Mm.
in the drive-through already. Or they change their mind and decide, you know what? Oh, maybe y'all don't have what I thought what I wanted to order today. So I'm not going to order anything. But I'm in the drive-through line. How long are you going to let me hold up your drive-through from getting to all the other cars that are ready to buy something?
mm-hmm.
May I help you? That's a great coach. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's the
I
moral of
love
the story?
it.
Get out the line. Let them get out the line so you can move on.
Are
Keep
you
your line
gonna
moving.
what if I pull up at your drive-through, you own a drive-through Starbucks, and I'm like, you know what? No, you know what? I changed my mind. Are you training your staff to sit there and try to sell me?
Nope. Next.
Is that your business model to sell me on ordering something
Nope.
No,
Thank you.
you already
Next.
know.
in a drive-through?
Nope. Thank you. Next.
How do you make money in a drive-through? How do you
The amount of
maximize
cars.
your income? The
Getting people
number,
through fast.
the number of cars you move through that drive-through is what dictates your income. Not the one car,
Yes.
not that one person. Even if that one person signs up, you can't pay your mortgage on one person.
Nope.
You got to have a lot of cars going through that drive-through to pay that mortgage of your business
Let's go. Let's go.
and your house. So let's move these cars faster. That's what I want you all focused on. That's the six-figure mindset. Is I gotta move 6 figures worth of cars through my drive-through. Write that down, y'all. I have to move six. If I want to make 10,000 a month, I gotta move 10,000 a month worth of cars through my drive-through, my baseball diamond, between me and my team. How many people doing 2 to 5 a day? That's the only way I'm getting the $10,000 a month. It's not that one person that I think would be good.
Mhm.
You make more money with a bunch of folks that are not good, that do their 2 to 5 a day, than that one person you thought was going to be the savior. So let's go, everybody. Move those cars through those drive-throughs. Have fun with it, and let's go crush it. ED equals.
Every
Every
day.
day.
What time
Every
is it?
day.
Ring
Ring.
time.
Time.
Love y'all. Platinum.
Let's
Let's
go.
go platinum.